We are going live. We're going to make sure we have all the tech, and then we'll do our official introduction for everyone. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, we are good to go. So we've got Madelaine Parker and Amalia Natalio with Karmic Kindness giving you all the cosmic forecast in our little cosmic chat today, talking about the Gemini New Moon. So Madelaine and I were talking about this energy of this new moon, and what I find really interesting about it for me personally is that I was just telling Madelaine, I'm still feeling that eclipse energy from the Taurus Scorpio from a couple moon cycles ago, and it is still rocking my world. So if anyone out there has Taurus or Scorpio in their chart, you are likely still feeling that too. And I just wanted to say, you're not alone. We're doing this together, doing the best that we can. And my motto recently is just one moment at a time, do the best I can, find joy where I'm able. And that is pretty much it. And the other part of it is just giving yourself a break. If you don't feel like doing something, if you just need a minute, although Madelaine was just saying with this Gemini new moon energy, it's busier. You know, we have that air that's kind of gets you going a bit, a little bit different than a fire energy, but still active. And what I also find really fascinating about this Gemini new moon energy is that I'm feeling this feels really intense for me, not in a like, oh my God, my world is shaken, but just this intensity of awareness of my thoughts and the awareness of not having clarity in certain areas of my life that I really want clarity on. And I know there's a square, Neptune is squaring this new moon, which means there's some tension there. Neptune is illusory. We're not seeing things completely clearly. It's a little foggy. And I'm just to share with folks, you know, your thoughts are going to be on overdrive right now with this Gemini energy, which is going to have, you're going to have inspiring thoughts, but there might also be worry thoughts. And you may not be seeing things or thinking clearly. So my caution for anyone who is in a period of time right now of making some pretty big decisions, to wait until that Neptune square backs off a little bit. And maybe Madelaine can let us know when that occurs so that you don't jump into something without being able to see it for what it actually is. And there's some nice aspects to this moon. So it's not bad. It's just always about awareness. This is why we do this, to give you all an understanding of what the cosmos energetically has going on, and then tune into yourself and see where are you within that energetic field, because we as individuals have the power of co-creation. We're writing our own story. We can change our story. We just want to make sure that we're changing our story to one that really aligns with where we want to go versus where we think we want to go based on information that's coming through that's not clear. So, Madelaine, what are your thoughts on all that I just shared?
That Sun Neptune square is definitely something to really study. I've been trying to study it, understand this transit all week actually, but it's going to pass in a couple of days. Okay. And yeah, it passes, but there is definitely a reason for it. You know, it's definitely it's a significant part of this new moon. It is also sextiling. Gosh, gotta look at that. It is sex. This my brain is going to be foggy. I'm going to, because I'll tell you something, this transit right now, Neptune is at 27 degrees Pisces. I am 0 degrees Cancer. My sun is 29 degrees Sagittarius. So it's squaring my sun. The sun is opposing my sun with squaring Neptune. So talk about like thing is just like, that's why I was kind of suddenly realized it was almost time for this thing, and I had to rush because I was just daydreaming. My head got locked into some sort of daydream. So there's a reason, because I'll get into it, but we're being guided. So, and clarity's coming because the Gemini energy is about clarity. So I guess we'll just jump in. Should I share the screen?
Yeah. Why don't, yeah, absolutely.
It's very, these are definitely pivotal times. And I know that sounds cliche because I know people are saying that, astrologers say that all the time, but it for sure is now probably bigger. And we're always sort of working towards these points. And then we see the shifts, and then we working towards and building towards the next period. And then we'll see other major shifts. But whenever the nodes are involved, especially in the energies of Taurus, which is a third dimensional energy, you're going to see it's, you know, it's the earth energy, it's practical. You're going to see physical things happening in the shifting. It's not just in the energies, you know.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so we're going to be seeing these squares to Neptune, which is basically erasing the ego, clearing the ego, so you're lost. And then there's your 0 point, and then the clarity comes in. And we also just, you know, make sure everyone knows this, is that Mercury is in the sign of Gemini right now, and it is the ruling planet of this new moon. So the potential for new ideas, new clarity, and we're we're erasing the ego board because the new moon is in Gemini, which is logos, which is the mind, and Neptune in Pisces is mythos, which is the mythos. So we've got this, the yin and the yang energies going on right now. And plus we also have to say we have Mars and Venus conjoining right now as well, kind of close. But so we've got yin and yang with this sun in Gemini, moon Gemini, air, yang energy, logos, your thoughts, what you think. You're probably going to see a lot of people debating spiritualism, getting in arguments, and the moon is there. So it's emotional. It's you have an emotional reason for why you believe what you believe. And is it logical? You don't understand the Mercury square, I mean, the Neptune squaring, but it's sextiling Pluto. So here I'll show people where that is. So there's the, don't forget, and then the nodes are involved in all of this as well. But so we've got Venus and Mars together right there in the energy of Leo, which is pretty passionate, fired up. So you're going to get people possibly firing up and arguing about or something that they really passionately believe from an emotional place. Maybe it's not logical. Maybe it's an emotional belief. Neptune coming in and squaring all of it is making you relax your mind, confuse your mind so you don't know. Then you connect with your emotional truth, and that ends up, we're supposed to act from emotion, and then we gain, I know it's everyone thinks head stay out of an emotion with a decision. It's actually not, it's better to move the other way. Emotion is going to connect you when you're intuitive knowing, and that knowing is your soul and is pretty much always right, 100% in my opinion. So there there's the sun and the moon in Gemini, squaring Neptune right here in Pisces. Saturn just going retrograde right now. These are heavy energies. Saturn going retrograde causes people a lot of kind of dropping in their vibrational energy. You've got to go back. We're going inward. So when these energies slow down like this, people come in contact with their depressed feelings, because usually we're staying busy and we're running around and we're really running away from how we feel, because we're running away from something that doesn't feel good. And then when these energies slow down, you feel them. So we're going back with Saturn in retrograde, going over our something that is either a career or project from the past that we're redoing, and we're going back and we're changing, we're making some changes, and we're taking it slow and we're doing it better. Exactly what's happening to me. And so you're going back and reworking that, or you're going inward, depending on where this lands, and we'll throw that in on the readings as we go. Depending on where the Saturn lands, is where the work is going to be doing, where the development is going to be, where you're going to be more mature about something, where you're going to redo something in your life. And we'll look at all of that when we do all the 12 signs. So some of the energies are heavy, but it's to slow us down. We have to go inward. It's like a train's going forward, and every now and again it has to stop and back up and then get onto a different slight track and then realign, make sure it's aligned into the right. So that's kind of what we're doing. And when you study the tree of life or the 22 arcanas in tarot, you're really aware of how much we're supposed to slow down and not act and just intuitively connect before we act, because that's when we get our aligned direction. So then when you do act, it's in alignment with your destiny and you're getting support from the universe. So you're in universal flow with the flow. And so now we've got, so there we have Neptune. We've got, there is that sextile to Pluto, which just went into Capricorn, which means some issues that have not been resolved. It's kind of lining up with it's sextiling Neptune. So that's a very positive aspect, because it's kind of like helping us connect very intuitively with a truth. Pluto's a deep soul truth. So you're just going to get aligned to a better truth, to a better direction. Pluto's in all of this, making sure the soul is heard the loudest. Because it's sextiling Neptune, Neptune squaring the ego. So in my opinion, mythos in this argument is going to win. You got to stay out of the defensive thing, because it's the moon sun. So emotional things are going to kick up. Not that it's bad to be emotional. I never want to give off that energy at all. You just don't want to let the emotions, because there's a new moon, we're clearing out. We're trying to get into a void energy, which is pure, clear, so you can receive the new beginning, because the new moon is the new beginning. So you want to process things emotionally well and mentally well when you have these squares, which means it's okay to have your emotions, but you're logical about it and you stay in your logic. So that's the new moon energy right there. And then the square and the belief, how solid is your belief? Is it ego based, or is it emotionally based? Is it your truth? If it's your truth, you don't have to argue. It's okay. Don't worry. Let it go. Even if it's not your truth, let it go. But anyway, the point being that, we're looking at what we believe, our information knowledge can come in that changes what you believe, because of a truth, sextiling Pluto, that brings clarity. Maybe this is why we have to have this square to Neptune before, even though it's on the new moon, right when Saturn goes retrograde, Pluto going into Capricorn, clarity about our karmic repeat messes that we make. Do we have clarity on that? Because we really have to clear our cycles so we can start the new cycle. Or we cleared up of our old patterns. Some people are going to quit, because if this lunation for Cancer rising, for instance, it's happening in my 12th and in my 6th, I've definitely, that's definitely clarity about quitting things. And I have definitely had the power, and I love new moons in the 12th and the 6th. A lot of times people don't like that, because it does bring up the reason why you need to quit, which is not so exciting, but you have the strength to do it, and you can do it. And it feels great. And I've been just loving my health and my diet lately. I'm just like loving that alignment for my chart. And so I finally figured out my diet. I mean, that's the thing. It's like the clarity hitting there on in my 12th house. 6th house is the Sagittarius house, which is my 6th house. So it's like, and it's opposing my sun. So it's going against my old beliefs in eating and diet. And the 6th house is what you do on a day-to-day that either makes you successful or healthy or wealthy. And so I've finally found my diet that I love, that is healthy and feels environmentally ego, whatever, and good. So it's just like that clarity came through this transit. So the lost is right before the clear. It's the argument between the mythos and the logos. In my opinion, mythos wins. I believe I'm Pisces moon, so I love the mythos. Ground in the heart knows, because the new moon is there. We're planting and launching new beginnings. This is significant because that squaring of the Neptune is erasing your ego response to something spiritual because it's Pisces. So let's stay with that. So there's some ego barrier, ego resistance, ego mind stuckness, that new information or new knowledge, because we're also sextiling Pluto, knowledge that wakens people up, changes your opinion. You can't believe it. Like somebody you know saw a spaceship and you really now believe it. You know, it's like you suddenly see something really clearly now. And it spiritually liberates you, because the ego is the sun. So we got it. The astrology is constantly bashing our egos, which is our heads, which is what we think, because our thinking isn't connected to the intuitive knowing. The thinking is our ego, and our ego is out of alignment with intuitive knowing, because we are not animals. Animals have joint, forced head, heart alignment. They always know divine will. They always know universal will. They're always at flow with universal. That's why there's always a state of balance in nature, because in nature always acts in knowledge of divine will, and the knowledge of divine will lead you to harmony. But we are given free will in astrology. Even in astrology, your chart has have positive aspects to it. You only you have the free will to activate that in your chart. So
well, and if I could just chime in here with what you just said, Madelaine, and that is around the energetic potential of a chart. And even what we say, there's the beneficial, it's always beneficial. What is the word I'm looking for here? There's like the highest vibration and then a lower vibrational interpretation of the energy, and you get to choose.
Call it shadow. So you have shadow version of your chart. You have more, you can, what we're doing is we're really literally trying to activate a higher reality through understanding why we're creating our shadow reality. Because we're creating our shadow reality when we're not conscious of the potential of our higher reality. Because by default. So when you look at your chart, you become conscious of the potential higher reality that you have. And that's why when I'm giving people's reads, they get so excited about it. They're like, that's exactly what I wanted to always do. That's what I wanted to do as a child, because that's actually in your heart's desire. And by the way, these energies are all about that. I'm seeing it absolutely. People who are doing what they love, it is on fire and they're doing great. These energies support being high vibrational. We are going into thriving. We have to have thriving mentality, because that's the thing that's shaking out of our ego. No, lack mentality. That's part of the new moon. We're going to get nudged out of, because Mercury rules this new moon in tarot. The magician is the Mercury card. And I'd like to find that card, but that card is all about mastering the mind. Where is our mind creating a reality that we don't like because we believe it? We will manifest what we believe. Yes. So the reading tells you the potential. Should you believe in this for yourself? Should you see the big mighty oak that you're here to be, the thunder god? It's Jupiter, basically. I've been reading a lot about Jupiter because I find it interesting. The mythos fascinates me. So Jupiter is sourced in a mythical Jesus before even Christianity. Like it's called Zeus, the thunder god, Thor, boom, and its icon is the oak tree, which kind of is a Jesus symbol as well. And it basically means everything's going to be okay. Don't worry, stay calm. So because in that calm state, in being okay, you can then activate your higher vibrational chart, like you were saying, your dream chart. And we are here to thrive. There's no doubt about it. We are not here to suffer. We have the potential. Every one of us has the seedling to become the mighty oak. That is your Jupiter in your chart. So is the mighty oak that you're here to be. So I was telling somebody this the other day, and I was standing in front of my window going, Zeus, Thor, the mighty thunder god, and lightning hit right outside the window. It was like crazy, right?
No way.
It was a sun out of the blue lightning thunderstorm right outside my window. It wasn't because of me. I don't think it was me. It was just crazy though.
But the timing of that is kind of cool.
Crazy. It's funny. It's been very synchronistic lately.
Yeah, that is very cool. Thanks. That's very cool.
So
do you want to jump into Aries, or is there something more you wanted to share related to the chart specifically?
Sure. I just bought this program and I don't know how to move it to the ascendant, but I want to keep it open because it's helpful. There's so much going on here. We're looking at Saturn retrograde, Pluto and Capricorn, Neptune and Neptune in Pisces, which is Saturn, same house as Saturn retrograde. So that's kind of covers that one area. Then we're going to also see the new moon Gemini. For me, it's happening right on my ascendant, 0 degrees, which is kind of interesting. But I'll tell you what happens. Anyway, yes, let's start with Aries. Let me get my other chart up. I won't share that, but I'm going to keep this chart up so I can see all of that. You know what I
Well,
mean?
can you keep it up and stop sharing the screen? Because otherwise, yeah.
Yes, good idea.
Yeah, because when I do the flower cards, people won't be able to see them and it's so tiny.
Good point. All right. Sounds good. All right. So Aries, we're going to see. So we'll start with the Gemini energy for Aries. It's in your 3rd house. That's going to be a busy new beginning, a new project starting. But Neptune squaring your Pisces is over your, where's Pisces for Gemini? Oh, well, it's your 12th house. So Pisces in your 12th house, you're going to be, that is pretty interesting, having Pisces in your 12th house. You're going to be definitely very, very lofty, you're going to have Saturn in your 12th house for 3 years. So you're going to be very, and Saturn's going retrograde there. You've got Neptune there. You're very connected to some sort of soul truth or past life destiny. Something's becoming clear for you about your destiny, your soul's truth. You're going to go back and reevaluate some kind of karma desire that you haven't been able to do because you had karma to clear, and it's sort of something's going to bubble up here from the soul in this energy. And then with Gemini in your 3rd house, there's a writing house there. You could start a website. You could start some kind of you could start your website. You could start a new commute, a new business, a new idea. 3rd house is Gemini house. That's a very, very, and by the way, Mercury is coming in as a morning star. Mercury is ruling this new moon, and it is a very good, very auspicious energy. So it's coming to its rising. So I don't know enough more about that, but I'm studying all of that. I'm a student that teaches to learn. So I'm in learning all the time. I love it all. But so Gemini energy, that 3rd house, is giving us a lot of abundant ideas. So we're looking at coming out of a fog or a misperception, 12th house, a deep misperception that has made you very disconnected from a truth in your soul, becomes clear, which then initiates a project in your 3rd house, writing, you could be a new business, new website, blog, or a writing project, I said, but you could also, in your local environment, you rent out an office and you start working from something in a local environment because it's your people that are around you. It could be a business, and you meet new neighbors that activate, that support. Do you like meeting new people or new people around you that help you with a business or help you get more business, new clients type energy? But there's sudden clarity that opens up a channel for more abundance. That has been a resistance because the Neptune is a square, is a resistance. You've been resisting this, but it's a truth. It's your destiny. And we're looking at new destinies, we're looking at a whole bunch of new cycles for everybody. So,
Flower. So here is the flower for Aries. It's the pomegranate flower. And this connects in with what you were saying, Madelaine, in that it magnifies creative energy and self-expression. So however that may show up for somebody, it could be, excuse me, it could be writing, it could be speaking, like any sort of expression that you have. It could even be, creative dance. It could be just ecstatic dance, whatever it is that relates to your own personal self-expression. This is what we're talking about here.
This Leo, Venus, Leo is over their 5th house, which is a very creative house. So you're absolutely, yep.
Yeah.
Venus in their 5th house, and Venus is going to go into retrograde. So a project from the past involving relationships from the past is returning.
There you have it. And as a reminder for those who might be joining us that are new to the flowers and this part of our cosmic chat, is I use the Flower Evolution deck by LOTUSWEI. And this deck has flowers that are supportive of you in wherever you are in your life. The cards that come through are specifically for each sign, and you can use that through taking a screenshot of the flower itself, purchasing the flower, having it in your home, purchasing flower essences directly from LOTUSWEI, and utilizing them in, whether ingesting them or using a mist, or just calling in the spirit of the flower itself, bringing in, okay, for Aries. All right, I didn't take a screenshot. I'm not buying anything, but I really like that flower. I can see it in my mind, and I'm calling in the spirit of pomegranate flower to help me magnify my expression and to feel comfortable magnifying my expression, because this also activates strength. And there's a detox and re-energizing energy to it too. So there's a number of different aspects of this flower that would be beneficial for Aries, in addition to magnifying self-expression, which I feel connects in with the third house that this moon is in for the sun, and the moon is in for this particular new moon cycle. Did you have something you wanted to add, Madelaine? I saw you holding up a card.
Oh, well, I'm so blown away by how perfect that card is. Exactly. The reading. So no, but I was talking about the Magician card and I was looking for it, but the importance of a Mercury, because this is actually a card ruled by Mercury. The importance of a Mercury card is that you have power by your mind. You're harnessing your mind's power by staying very positive, very aware of the power your mind has in your thoughts. So the other thing about that square to Neptune is watch your negative thinking. Watch, that can be something that we need to become aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that. Okay, right.
Taurus, yes, Taurus. You guys have Gemini in your second house. So there's going to be some kind of clarity around your financing. A new moon in your second house usually brings a new way of making money, a new income. And it's usually the second house is your own resources, what you possess, your own values. Maybe you come up with the idea to rent out your property and go travel, and you'll make money over your rental property. And then you're not, paying 2 mortgages and you can travel. Or you get an idea to run a business, because Gemini is always the energy of running businesses, a new way of making money, new business you can start doing. And maybe you have a talent, you're an artist, the second house are artists. Maybe you start making something. I do know a Taurus who can absolutely needs to be doing this. They have a talent. They can, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. They tend to be artistic. And we're talking about sculpture, physical art, like, material things. And they make things like crafts. Gemini over the second house is craft, good with your hands, making something that makes you a lot of money. Maybe you start a job making crafty things. People are really into buying things that are going to last now, that are handmade. And maybe people are waking up to that. I love that going on. So we're looking at ideas, or you could get now, because Gemini is also the energy of communication and talking. And also the energy of Gemini is the Lover's card. So this could be romantic for everybody across the board, because the Lover's card represents a harmonic energy of the two forces. So with Venus and Mars together, we're looking at unifying and finding harmony, clashing beliefs over clashing beliefs, finding a new harmony. So the Lover's card in tarot is all about being really nice to each other. It's like that's really the secret to being in a successful relationship, in any relationship, is to be like the Lover's card, which is you just be very nice. That's when you're in that place that you can be really nice to people, you can then harmonize with them and create expansion, because that's all you really need to do, is just to be kind, and you can get through anything. So the Lover's card in the path of the shall we say the archetypes, the 22 archetypes in the tree of life, represents the energy of willing to harmonize with others, willing to go along with and create harmonic so that we can expand. So and putting your ego aside Neptune squaring your ego, because the sun is the ego, which we say is your thoughts, your perceptions, identity. I mean, okay, so yeah, I think I'm
So,
gaining clarity as I'm talking here.
oh, absolutely. I mean, we teach what we need to know the most. And so as we share, it comes through, especially with the voice. I find that is such a beautiful way to express yourself, whether you're sharing with somebody else or talking to yourself. It's really incredible what happens. There's an alchemy that occurs. So the card for Taurus is the rose. And what I find so interesting about this being the card, I'm trying to get, there we go, based on what you were saying, this magnifies kindness and caring for yourself and others, and which is something you were just talking about. And the other aspect of this card that I really like is, one of the areas of life that as humans, we tend to spend a lot of time worrying about is money, and that being a struggle, making money, keeping money, holding. It's like, that's all that seems to be a theme for most people. Even those who have a lot of money are fearful of losing their money or not being able to make any more money. So this dissolves the belief that life is full of struggle. And so I equate that to the second house, because that tends to be the area where we as humans struggle the most. Love and money, those are the two biggies. And you kind of touched on both of them in what you shared just now. So again, for Taurus, calling in the rose, this is an easy flower to get. It's pretty ubiquitous. Grab one even. It just so happens I got one yesterday. So I have one beautiful pink rose that I'm going to really connect with since I have a Taurus moon. It's kind of beautiful how the universe provided me with that medicine in the form of that flower yesterday.
Yeah, well, also Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is the aesthetics. And just, I mean, the rose, you could argue, is the most beautiful flower. I mean, it's highly aesthetic. And
it's the highest vibrational flower of all. It carries the highest vibration. So, if you're ever in doubt or you're not really sure and you feel like you need a little something, some sort of flower medicine, the rose is always a great go-to. Kind of like amethyst or clear quartz are the go-to crystals. I would say rose would be the go-to flower. And the different colors mean different things. So, red is all about love. White is about purity. So it just, depends on, I'm not sure what money would be, to be honest with you. I think anyone would work. Any color.
Yeah. Well, you're absolutely nailing it there with that second house, because the second house is in usually the Taurus house, it's the second. So it's possessions, talents you possess, things that you have. So the new moon in your second house is like something you have a talent or an ability, something you possess that can make you money. So a lot of people, when they have planets in that second house, they literally possess a talent. They can make something or do something that actually makes them money. They possess a money-making capacity. So.
And it could be, a talent for sure. And then it could also be, maybe this is a time for, would you say, I'm asking if you would say this is true, a time for perhaps investing, using your money to make money. Finding a project or an investment of some kind.
Yes, because a lot of people, I just did a chart yesterday, she has sun in the second, moon in the eighth. She has a husband with money, and she's really talented at managing it, and she's very good at making money with the money. It's like, and she's very wealthy. I mean, it's like, wow, So that's kind of fun.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so Gemini, this will be interesting. See what's going on with them.
Well, I would think that they're going to hit this square of Neptune pretty strong, because it's squaring their ascendant or their whatever moon or sun in Gemini. And it's going to wake up some illusionary misperception that they hold, and their ego that they've always been rigid and thought they were right about. And it's going to go kaboom and they're going to have a spiritual shift. This is spiritual awakening energies for some people, no doubt about it. So they're going to have a shift in their perception. And then they're going to see something interesting. They're going to see why they held on to their idea or their thought, because it was to believe in this is emotionally upsetting. Like to find out that someone you love is a criminal or something, because it's trining Pluto, a sextiling Pluto. So there is truths coming out. So there's some sort of truth comes out that disappoints you about somebody. You don't believe in them anymore, but that's better for you. You're more in your own power and you're taking your power back from that situation. Or you believe now in something that was spiritual and you now have a spiritual awakening. You see the importance, the significance of the spirit, of some situation that you're going through. You have an awakening, a spiritual awakening. You see now clarity, and you now believe something. You believe it now. Maybe you believe in UFO now. You never believed in it. You thought crop circles, but now you see a crop circle that you just, no way, that's something like that, where you just, it kind of shatters your world. And then there's an emotional thing around it, because now you're the person in your family that believes in this wacko stuff, but you can't explain it to them because they're just going to think you're wacko. So that's part of this energy is with the Neptune square. You just you can't explain it to people. They're just not going to understand. And it's too hard to explain, but you just know it's true because emotionally the moon tells you, it's true. So you just have to let go of the resistance, and then follow your intuitive knowing with a new moon. That's going to lead you to your new auspicious beginnings. And that clarity that comes now, you believe in abundance more, because that old way of seeing it actually was more limiting and limited your ability for abundance. Now you actually believe that the universe is going to really support you, that kind of a thing. So flower power.
So we have the Grevillea. And, what is so interesting about this flower as it relates to what you were sharing, Madelaine, is that, Gemini is third house. Even though this is happening in the first house of self for those who have Gemini, the energy that runs for them tends to be around thoughts and mind, but also speaking, sharing. You are talking about how their beliefs may shift and they will need to share that shift, share something that might be uncomfortable or might be a little bit out there. And this activates fearless speech. And the message is speak your mind. And so they are going to be in a position where, like you were saying, something is going to shift. They're going to change their mind about something. And this is fairly common for Geminis. They change their mind a lot, but they're going to change their mind about something and then be able to speak about it and share their wisdom and share this new point of view with other people, which is the energy of it is going to feel different, because it's not just a thought, it's going to be integrated even more deeply into themselves because this is in their first house. So this flower, I feel like, is spot on for Gemini as well.
Yes, you absolutely touched on some amazing things, because it is and mutable energy does change and adapts. So this is an adaptive energy. We're changing our minds. Brilliant. Yeah. We're realizing something and we're making it we're adapting to it. That's the energies of mutable signs. So spot on.
Yeah. The cosmos is really supportive.
Today. Yes, today it's with us. We have the cosmos at our back.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Okay.
So interesting, I can use me as an example for Cancer. So I was doing workshops, and then on Zoom, they were going great. And then we decided to take hiatus, right? And it was squaring, that last moon was squaring my MC, which means I stopped doing something in my work. And it was like that day we decided, let's take the summer off. She has kids. We just thought we're just going to play on the summer and chill. And I was like, I'm loving my summer pace. Yesterday, this new moon squares my MC. She's being bombarded by people who want the workshops again.
Wow.
Yeah, so Saturn's in retrograde right there on my MC going retrograde. So now we're like, okay, we need to keep the workshops going. We've got to pull them back up. But we're going to read, see Saturn retrograde over something that was a career thing that we initiated in the Sagittarius or a Gemini new moon. No, Sagittarius, a new moon new moon in November, December, end of November, December, somewhere in there. And then I just this full moon recently, my full moon, I think it was, that we ended it because we decided. And then the new moon comes in, squares my ninth house on Saturn, because this new moon is a wide, well, it's not squaring Saturn, Mercury is squaring Saturn. But so something from the past comes back, and now we got to redo it. We're going to rewrite it, restructure it, Saturn. So anyway, it's really clear. And also the ninth house for Cancer is travel. So a lot of Cancers are potentially traveling. We're talking about taking workshops around and doing retreats or in Italy, which I'm very excited about. So that's that's traveling, my ninth house, doing spiritual stuff. Because I love to travel, but I prefer to travel doing something. So that's I keep kind of, hopefully I'm not forgetting Saturn retrograde in your chart reading, but if I do, it's possible that it's not huge impact on you guys quite yet. But for Cancers, you're going back over something in your ninth house. Neptune is there, you're getting clarity. There's a little bit foggy confusion, like I'm not clear yet about how we're going to solve some of the things we need to fix. And I don't have total clarity, but we're going to, through this retrograde, you're going to fix it. It's going to get clear. It's going to get fixed. So the new moon gives us ideas around a business website. It's on your first house. I mean, it's on the cusp. It's in your 12th house, actually, but it's at the cusp. It's right at the end. So it's 27 degrees. So you're gaining clarity about something in your soul, that there's going to something that you need to change from a soul level. You can feel it in your soul, but you don't know, and you're going to just gain clarity. And then that clarity is going to come, and you're going to be able to make the changes, or you're going to get clarity of how you can make the money to travel. I have some working with on that we're gaining clarity around, and structures you can set up so you can do that. Or teach or start something, or clarity about what you want to learn. I want to take another astrology course, but I don't know which one. So, but then so then it goes to the Gemini there in your 12th house, your soul. We're waiting to get clarity on the soul. So you gotta be low key, take time off, don't socialize so much, stay inward, connect. And, it's a busy new moon, but try not to be too busy.
Some time for nurturing yourself. Cancerians tend to be able to do that pretty well. Just once you set the intention, then following through, it's pretty easy for them to do things for themselves, take care. All right. So the card for Cancer is the Royal Poinciana. And this card also, I feel like, matches up very beautifully with what you were sharing, Madelaine, in that it magnifies clarity and decisiveness. I mean, you literally used the word clarity a moment ago, and helps with your focus, like this laser focus on what you're doing, what you're working on, where you want to go, who you want to be with, what you want to do. And it also relates to asking for what you want. That's the message for this is, once you have the clarity, ask for what it is that you want. It activates conviction. So that inner conviction where you're not going to get thrown off course based on what somebody else wants or needs, as much as you can as a Cancerian person, because that's a very nurturing, motherly sort of energy, and you want to take care. There's that deep desire to take care, but sometimes that can be to your detriment. So having the clarity, having the focus, ask for what you want, and the conviction to stand by that, regardless of the outside chatter. So the Royal Poinciana, I think, is a beautiful support for Cancer.
That resonates because it's through the energy. In fact, this new moon is, in my 12th house. So for Cancers, they're really waking up to how, because it goes to the 6th house, closes the 6th house. So and it's on my son. So I'm really waking up to some unhealthy eating habits, and that's helping me quit it, like gluten, and so that is through the energy of nurturing, of taking care of myself. You're right. It's through the self-care. Yeah. So that's very appropriate. And Cancer it's in your first house. Well, it's on the cusp. So that's all about self, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Leo.
Leo, you guys must be on fire right now. I have a Leo son, and I'm thinking I haven't heard from him in a while, so he must be busy. He has the Gemini moon, Leo sun. Yeah.
Oh, could be.
So Leo, yeah. So Leos are going to be, where are you? Gemini is in your 11th house. Wow. New moon. You're going to meet some new people, new tribe, new fun friends, communication, and it's going to break your belief. They're potentially more spiritual people, and you never thought you would have ever hung out with people who were into crystals and sage or something. And all of a sudden you meet this new group of people, you get on with them, and they're like really into like, you know, crystals and things, you know. So something, and you wake up to a belief, or you meet people that believe something you never believed, like you just no way believed in it. And then they all say things that makes you believe in it, and you gain all this clarity. You also gain clarity on the people that are your true friends. Like you may have been ego asserting to certain friends, which is just like friends you thought they look, you know, like you want to associate with certain types of people because it's your work or something. But now you meet people who are spiritually your tribe, your soul, you connect. And then you basically new beginnings with your tribe, you know. Communications, you're really talking a lot, socializing, you meet people at a party, you get to more parties in this new moon. Maybe you meet new people at a new party. And where does Pisces hit for you guys? Pisces hits, Leo, Pisces hits in your 8th. Wow. So you're going to have a fear triggered potentially because Neptune there, it might wake you up to a fear that you have around, like sometimes we don't want to believe in something because we're afraid that it's true, or like, I don't know, I can't think of anything. Like if you suddenly believe in astrology, you're going to suddenly, all the people you know are going to think you're a real wacko, and your normal friends are going to think you're one of them now, you know, that kind of a deal. So it's triggering a fear, because the 8th house is a fear of losing a certain friends group because you believe something now, and or your friends group believe in something you can't associate with. It could be the other way around. And now you have to let go of a fear-based attachment to something that you think is survival. You may have some sort of overly dependence on certain groups of friends, that you have to just let them go because you all believe and see things differently. Maybe that kind of plays out, or it's the flip of that. You know, you connect more now. You all wake up to a belief, and it's really amazing, and you all connect together about it. It galvanizes you, but you all collectively change your belief. You find out information, knowledge about somebody you know in your friends group that has had something happens to them, like they beat cancer drinking celery juice. So now you're really into, I don't know. I'm just trying to be creative.
The other part of it, I was thinking too, with 8th house, it's secrets. So it could be a secret comes out, a secret is revealed that really changes how you navigate your friends group, or that changes the group that you're in. The secret comes out and you decide, okay, I'm no longer aligned with this group, and you find a new group.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could be weaning from one group to the next group. Now, remember, you've got Mars and Venus on your sign. So I would say, you know, you could get very, very inspired by a new group, like something, because you're very fired up and inspired. This is a time for you to be very creative and exploring your creative yin and your yang on both levels of your energy field, you know?
Yeah.
Mental inspiration and emotional inspiration, and following your emotional inspiration and aligning your mind with what's really inspiring for you and creative and all that, and play. Leo's about playing and joy. So yeah, flower power.
Oh, the pink spirea.
Oh,
This activates laughter, and the message is let your inner child play. It magnifies joy and lightheartedness. And what I love too is it dissolves sadness or loneliness. So when I think about 11th house and friends, you no longer feel that sense of loneliness. You find your people, you find those people that you can connect with. And it also, Leo is all about the heart. It's a very heart-centered and heart-driven sign. And this dissolves wounds of the heart, which I think is so beautiful and reminds us to connect with our inner child and play more, be more joyful, be more, know that we're supported, know that we have a tribe, we have a soul family, we have a group of people that have our backs and that we have everything that we need available to us. So the pink spirea for Leo feels very aligned, and a pretty pink flower. So too, with these, if you even connect with the colors, connect with the flower, whatever it is that you need, just like kind of close your eyes and, envelop yourself in the pink petals of this flower. If you're feeling a little bit like you are not supported, or you find out a secret from your friends group that changes the way you feel, you're going to need a little extra love and support. And this could be a great way to receive it.
Yeah, you could find out somebody's, I don't want everyone to get paranoid, but this could be the situation where you discovers that you're not in a relationship and they cheated on you or something like that. And then you end it because and then it lines you with your true heart, the one that is really in your heart, the right.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good times for that. So, okay, great.
Virgo.
Gemini is in your 10th house of career. Yep. And Pisces, Leo in the 12th, and then Pisces hits your 7th house of relationships. That's right. It's across your ascendant. So Virgo are mutables. So they're going to have this. They've got, what do they have? They have Pisces across them. So they're squaring Virgo. They're going to have Gemini on their MC. They're going to have Gemini in their 10th house. So this is on their angular houses. This is when you see really a lot of shifts. And it's squaring their descendant, their ascendant. So it's activating and it's opposing your IC. So it's kind of basically changing your whole life. Cool. When you get lunations on your cardinal axis, it tilts everything, your life, mostly, in some way, maybe not drastic, major, but in some ways. So for Virgo, you're getting this on the top of your chart, your MC, your career. So we're looking at new beginnings in a career, new ideas of a business, new or talking engagement or speaking. Because if you have your MC up there, your destiny is most likely talking, writing, communicating. And you're going to have, just out of curiosity, what Leo house is Leo for Virgo? Leo, it's your 12th. That's right. It's your 12th. So you're basically, Virgo are basically being impacted by this because they're mutable and it's squaring you. So it's literally changing your minds, literally like changing a total utter perception. And I just want to get rid of this window here. What did I happen to the page that I was doing? Where did I put it? So basically you guys are having a square, and now I'm just trying to get Pisces again. Why do I forget what house Pisces is for Leo here? I mean, for Virgo, 7th house. Okay. So you're got Neptune in your 7th house. So, and this Neptune is at the end degree, it's squaring your 10th house. So a new belief opens up, potentially around a relationship or a friendship or a business partnership that you have had a misperception around. And it could also be your lover, your true person. This is Gemini energies. This could very well be a love thing for Virgo. Opens you up to understanding that you had a belief or a rigid perception that stopped you from allowing somebody in or letting love in, or because this could be a very romantic or a love transit for Virgo, because it's changing and aspecting their MC, which can often mean it changes your status as a married into a married person. that's why it could change your whole life. You may get to quit a job, or now you change the way you make your money because you're going to move and change jobs and you're getting married or something, or you meet somebody that you're now going to get into a relationship. Because communication, MC, could be a sudden communication coming in, literally rattling your view, like a relationship that you thought was completely over and you never thought it would ever see them again. And now you realize they're true love, and it wakes you up and you're like, wow, that is the truth. Love is the truth. So how else could it be? A career that your spouse doesn't believe in, and you get a new job and you have a new spiritual awakening, but your spouse doesn't, because that's in your 7th house. And so it could end your relationship, or you start to see you two are two very different people, have too many different beliefs. You're changing, ending the relationship. That could happen. Or you get over a belief and you realize we have different beliefs, but it's unconditional love. I am in an unconditionally loving relationships. Wow, I can't believe unconditional love is true, because he believes in this and I believe in this, and we still love each other. Wow, and that racks your world, that you can actually love somebody and be in a relationship with two different beliefs. Things like that. So it's, but you're looking at a new beginning in your career, and potentially changing your mind because of a rigid belief that now opens you up to opening up to a career that's slightly more spiritual, and it is your calling. It opens your career up because you have a new belief, or you start to believe in it now. You believe in the potential of a dream career, so you do it. All right.
I feel like I'm glad that you ended on the career note, because I feel like that's a lot of where this card is supportive, and this flower is supportive of Virgo. So we have the silk floss. It activates confidence, and the message is it's time to shine. And what really resonates with what you were sharing before is that this, to me, really feels very career oriented, because it relates to feeling out of your element. So, let's just say you have this new career opportunity, this new job that it's like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is what I want. But you get into it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But I also feel really scared. Am I ready for this? Was this the right thing for me to do? Even though it is exactly where you need to be, there might be this sense of, there's more responsibility. You feel a little bit out of your element. Maybe you're working in an office with all new people, so you feel a little bit awkward. And Virgo, they care about what people think. They're not like Libra as much about that, but they do want to feel that connection with people. And they may not at first, so they may feel a little bit out of their element. They may need to feel a sense of confidence as they start or embark on something new, especially if it's connected to a change in their beliefs, a change in something that they have held onto for a really long time. Let me see what else is here. This card too speaks about self-expression, which is Gemini energy, being able to express yourself. And
Leo, because they've got Leo in the 12th house. So Mars and Venus are there. So maybe they're kind of coming contact with a soul's desire to be more creative and unbearing a sort of a creative talent, or a like you say, the soul, a self-expression from the soul, because the 12th house is like, or a past life talent comes up, or lover.
Well, and my daughter is a Virgo sun, and I know that for her, I mentioned this on a previous podcast, an Instagram that she started with, it's very creative, where she's creating these little comics. That is definitely something she's interested in doing. And I feel like she would like to expand that more, but her current job is something she does enjoy, and it's very lucrative. So it's, which one do you focus more attention on? Are you ready to take a leap into something different? That sort of thing.
That's interesting. And what happens with Leo is the energy of when you do something as a talent, as a hobby, that then turns, because you're doing it as a hobby, it means you're doing it from the heart, and it becomes successful, because the one that she's obviously talented at other things too. We're all multifaceted. Well, not everybody, but some people are very talented at several things and multifaceted. And so the thing from the heart, the Leo, is the thing that's true in the heart, will absolutely go And it's the thing that you started as a hobby just for fun that turns into your career.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Not
Yeah.
this minute, but I could see that
Yeah.
down the line being.
It does.
being a
Yeah.
thing.
It's like you have 2 feet in 2 places, and then eventually you can go, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Libra.
Libra, Libra, Libra. Okay. You guys have Gemini over your 9th house. So possible travel, writing and traveling, or Libra over the 9th can be law as well. So maybe, I'm sorry, Gemini over the 9th. The 9th house can be a law. So maybe you write a new law, or you write something and publish a book about laws that need to be changed. I'm just going very matrix on it sometimes because I go very etheric with my reads. So I try to be more matrix sometimes. Or you go, or we're going to go spiritual. The 9th house can be spiritual. You decide to write about spiritualism. You decide to publish a book about it. Libras are good writers. They're very air energy. They're intellectual. They're strategize. Maybe they start to plan a new traveling and a business to travel and run a business that they can do while they're traveling. Libra rising. Okay. Libra rising. We go back. So where is Pisces? And Pisces in your 6th house. So interesting. You're having it on your 6th and 12th house. And Gemini in the 10th. Libra have, gosh darn it. Libra have Gemini. Nice. Yeah. So the 6th being there in that square. So you're going to, again, you're getting over a belief that stopped, because the 6th house can also be work. So you're going to change your mind around an area of work too, or health that enables you to travel, or you do start to learn a natural health practice that you then teach or write about. But the 6th house is something that, with Neptune being there over you shift a spiritual belief around health, or you shift into knowing that spiritualism is important about your health, or you get an idea through meditating. You start meditating every day, and that starts making you a lot healthier, and you really connect and you start writing about it, or you start opening up to being more connected to your spiritual mythos rather than always being in your logos mind. Libra are very in their mind. So they might start opening up, changing their minds and opening up to spiritualism and bringing that into some of their solutions that they need. I'm trying to think of something else. Communication, 6th house is busy. They've got Pisces there. They're going to wake up to things they do that are not healthy for them on a day-to-day, a belief they had that hasn't been healthy for them. They're changing a belief, they're changing their mind. And then with everything in the 9th house, they then go to learn more about something that is healthy, or start a project, or
travel.
Or learn about something that is more healthy, like learn about cooking a particular diet or something like that. And travel, absolutely. These are energies of very much living your dream, because the dream that you wish for in your heart is actually where you're supposed to go. So in these energies, it's supporting anything from your heart because it's higher vibrational. And as we're raising the vibration of the planet, if you act from a lower fear-based energy, it's just much more challenging and harder. So the more you do what you love and what you dream to do, so that could be like for Libra, a dream come true. The dream, Neptune, there's a square mental perception, because the 9th house can be a rigid thinking, right? That shadow aspect of the 9th is rigid thinking. So Neptune squaring some sort of rigid thought that was limiting the life they could lead, because they had a rigid spirit. They didn't believe in spiritualism. They don't believe in it. So they don't believe in anything. So a lot of Libras are like that. They're very in the mind. So they then have this, whoa, I believe in it now. And it opens up some sort of a writing project or an adventure for them. And they go explore it and travel it and want to look at, like, maybe you don't believe in some sort of historical fact, or you've believed in something that is historical and suddenly you don't believe in it anymore. And you want to go travel and look at architecture or something like that. That's really from way more longer back than they say. But basically your Libras are going through a mind shift and opening up, and or they're seeing they believed in something that was an illusion and they don't believe in it anymore.
So Libra's flower is the Mandevilla. And the Mandevilla, I think, is so fascinating, related to what you were talking about, Madelaine, as always, is that the energy of Libra is they may have a rigid way of thinking. And so their mind is going to be opened during this moon cycle, and they're going to be shown something else. And so this card reminds them to accept what is in front of you. Let go of all of the, put the doubts and that mental chatter to the side and really just look at what's in front of you and accept what's there. Be present, be in the moment. And, when it comes to, and kind of what was coming to me around this was when it comes to travel, if you have an opportunity to go somewhere, to travel somewhere, to learn something, and be in the present moment, do it. Accept what is. Fall in love with what is, and take some action towards that, because there's going to be some gift or some nugget of wisdom or connection that's going to happen during that period of time that you wouldn't otherwise have if you were pushing against what is there. So that's the Mandevilla for Libra.
Well, that's really interesting because Libras are so in their headspace. Gemini over your ninth is kind of rigid thinking, can be shadow aspect, and then it's squaring Neptune in your sixth, which is kind of Neptune is the sixth house is like a day-to-day practice, spiritual practice. So maybe a lot of Libras are learning to meditate every day and get out of their heads and open up their rigid thinking. Like you were saying, it's gonna do good for you. It's gonna open you up to paths and opportunities that you couldn't see before. So
and just allow them the space to be there, and just accept that, at least for a little while, just play with it and see how it feels.
The energies to let go of any kind of rigid thoughts, like open your minds in these energies. The more we open our minds during these energies, the more creative ideas, because our minds are limited. So these new moons open up our mind. The square to the Neptune is opening up our minds. So we're out of rigid old perceptions. We're opening up now to the new ways. Possibilities of the new possibilities.
Super fun. Okay, Scorpio,
Pisces is over your fifth. Nice. And Gemini is over your eighth. So interesting. That is a relationship kind of house. So maybe Scorpio wake up to I'm going to minus this picture. Make it smaller. That's going to help. Okay, so Scorpio have Pisces over their fifth, and eighth is Gemini. So a new beginning in the eighth house, a new moon in the eighth house is a new financial investment opportunity, or new ideas on investments, or new ways to get out of debt if you have a debt, or a new idea to invest in something that pulls you out of debt, or you qualify for a loan, or you get an inheritance. But there's some sort of financial, shall we say, shift with joint financing, or you join finances, or you end, because sometimes new moons come with endings. So you end a joint financing situation, you've ended a relationship, and now you're going to sort of take a new beginning in being independent financially and not needing joint finances. But it can rattle your fears, because new moons in the eighth house can show you that you have a fear of being independent, or a fear of money. But also it's a sexuality house. So it's kind of like waking up to a belief, because it's squaring your fifth house. It might be you wake up to being more in a sexual based relationship that isn't spiritual, Neptune being there. You wake up to wanting a soul connection more, or that you haven't been aware of. You might meet a soul connected person. But if you're already in a relationship, then maybe you have clashing beliefs with a person in your relationship that Scorpio, they're going to have a sort of a clashing they're going to wake up to a new belief that a new moon, it could be that as a joint partnership, you both wake up to a limited perception you had that opens you up to making joint new investments on a project, or like you decide to, you with your person, you decide, you open up your beliefs about that suddenly one of your spouses now suddenly believes you do want to invest in an apartment building together and renting them out. They didn't want to do it, but now they changed their mind, and now you're going to invest the money together. You believe in it. Or you take on a creative project together that the belief system opens up in one of you around the creative project, because Neptune is super creative in the 5th house. It's a very creative energy. So there's like a joint mission where the nodes are squaring Pluto right now. So I haven't added all that in, but we're really being tilted to missions that we've been afraid of. We're facing our fears around that. So the 8th house is a fear energy. You're overcoming a fear of starting something with your spouse. You may be coming over a fear of investing money, getting out of a fear around not spending money that's stopping you from doing something that's creative and fun with your product, like not spending, you're afraid to spend. So now you see an opportunity, or you can see that it actually is a calculated risk that can develop into something it supports a creative project. You can be financially independent through maybe selling or through refinancing. Then you put the money, invest it in a co-project with your mate, which then creates good finances. By the way, this is an abundant energy. Taking risks is good. The fortune favors the brave in these energies, but you want to do them. They need to be astrologically aligned risks, which means, your chart supports it. That's what, that you're going to get trines in your chart when you act in this area of your chart. You're going to have guaranteed success. So knowing your chart helps, but Scorpio is the energy of taking risks. That's the 8th house of Scorpio. So this new moon for Scorpio is in their own house. So you've got thoughts and ideas or low vibrational thinkings that have blocked you around joining financing or joining partnership, or you're opening your mind and being more flexible, because the mythos energy is more open-minded, is the energy of Gemini is detailed. So we're really looking at like that Pisces energy is really the opposite of the extreme opposite, where there's no detail and then detail, lots of fine detail. So it's kind of like this foggy clarity comes of a way that you can invest your money and join together and then go in and do details, or start a business with your spouse, a joint business with Gemini there, depending on what planets you have. Sure, if you have planets in the 8th house, you're going to get tagged there, and maybe it really opens up an opportunity, investment opportunity that's going to make you somebody suddenly offers you a piece of property at such a good rate, both you and your spouse decide to invest in it. So an opportunity can come in that liberates you financially, and you take a risk.
I really love this. And this card, at first I was thinking, how is the trumpet vine related to what Madelaine is saying? And because I have a Scorpio ascendant, I was really listening and feeling into what you were saying. And while this card doesn't directly connect, what it does do is it reminds Scorpios to speak up, to free your voice. And again, this is Gemini energy, ruled by Mercury, communication. And what I notice with myself is that I will often keep things to myself. It's that secretive kind of energy. And it's not like I'm keeping secrets necessarily. It's just that I'm keeping things close to the vest. I'm not necessarily sharing it. But in sharing it is when the opportunities come. In sharing it, particularly with your partner or with somebody that might be able to support you on a creative project or an investment opportunity, or you need a loan for something, you need to be able to speak up for yourself and say, this is what I need. This is what I need it for. This also, it magnifies an easier discussion of inner feelings, which can be really challenging for Scorpios to do. You know, Scorpios, we don't really like to go into we'll go into the deep stuff ourselves, but being able to then share it with someone else is really uncomfortable and challenging. We do not like doing that. So this really gives Scorpios the ability to share those deep, maybe it's a dream that you have of something and you really would like your partner to come along for the ride, or you need an investor or whatever it might be. Or, you know, some sort of financial support for a creative project. This flower is a really great ally in that process. So the trumpet vine for Scorpios, I feel like, is a really beautiful place for them to land when they want to speak, when they want to connect with someone, when they're asking particularly for money or embarking on a creative project.
Well, what's interesting is that you have Pluto retrograding. We have Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn right now, and that's in the third house for Scorpio. So Scorpio are in the process of clearing karma through communication. And it's to learn to speak the truth rather than to manipulate the situation or or somehow create a different outcome through communication. So it's possible in this new moon with that Pluto in the third house, communication, new information comes in that changes your total perception. But, you know, they're we're going back a little bit and resolving a little bit more lessons in the Capricorn house around attachment issues, control issues, fear-based behaviors, fear-based patterns that we haven't completely pulled out of yet, but we're on that path. We're almost there, or we have, and we passed this last test.
Which would be great. All right, Sagittarius.
Okay, Saggies, you guys have Pisces in your fourth house, and I know many Sagittarians that are returning to their roots. They've got Saturn in retrograde. I know many Pisces that are returning to their root locations. Sagittarians. Pisces over their fourth. Then we've got Geminis in their seventh. So a new relationship, Sagittarians coming in, new relationship. It could be for me. I've got, well, I don't know, but it could be, but I have to look at the rest of my chart for that. But I've got this new moon, the new moon is on my ascendant, but my descendant is right there across it. So it's like relationships could be coming in for Sagittarians. So Sagittarians are looking at new communication, hearing from somebody that got Saturn in retrograde over their fourth house. So there's a roots or home. If Saturn's going retrograde there, you're reestablishing base, a new base, you're building a new structure, potentially to work from home. But with your Gemini, it's squaring Gemini. So it's almost like wake up, new realization that where your home is. And it also is being supportive by a relationship. You got Gemini at new moon in your seventh house. So you have like clarity about who your true relationship is in connection to your home, who your home person is, who you're at home with. Who's the person that, you know, let's just say is a soul, because Pisces in the fourth house is very much, you're returning to a soul, you're living where your soul wants to live, and then you're going to align, you're going to have a new awakening that who is your true person. It's like you're coming home very much so, and then it's the right person. Or you're going to wake up to who the right person is. You've been confused. You're going to hear communication from somebody that you go, wow, that is the right person. It could be a new person. You could meet a new person, and then you realize you've been going for the wrong kind of people. And then you realize this is my true soul type person that I could live with. They might clash your spiritual beliefs. They maybe have a different political affiliation. It could really go against what you thought, but you're going open-minded because you've fallen in love. You can't hold that rigid belief about that anymore. You know, like maybe you're a little bit of a snob about people from certain states with certain accents, and you fall madly in love with someone like that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So Sagittarians are looking at, then let's just for fun, Leo is in their ninth house. So creative writing projects again, or ideas, creative projects, traveling, learning a new creative talent, going to school, going to art school. So anything else there? I think communication involving relationships. Maybe you sign a contract, a new contract, because a joint contract with a spouse and you decide to go into business together, or a joint you sign a contract with a lawyer to take on a law case or something, and you have clarity now about this. Go ahead.
Okay. Lilac for Sagittarius. This activates flexibility. So when you were talking about all of these different areas of life that could change for Sagittarius, and I kept hearing it's about flexibility and being able to adapt to these changes that are coming up. It's and not just being flexible, but embodying that flexibility in that, so that the person in front of you, they can feel and sense that you aren't being as rigid as you once were, that you are willing to kind of go with the flow of what's going on and adapt to what needs to be done to support the relationship, or to communicate differently, or whatever it might be that's showing up. So lilac for Sagittarius.
Yes. And, this is the micro of your macro, because Sagittarius is the macro. So you may have a major total spiritual belief shift. You may see you've been rigid thinking about spirituality, and you open up. So cool.
Flexibility.
All right. I'm trying to think if I'm having any of these things shifting. I'm Sagittarius sun, so that hits Gemini in my 7th house. So it's so foggy because I have Neptune sparing everything right now in my chart. My sun and my Senate right now is being squared by Neptune.
Well, you'll know in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll become
clear. Communication coming in, people from the past, Saturn retrograde, projects coming in from the past. So try not to be rigid-minded Sagittarians. They can be the most rigid-minded. They think they know everything. Sorry, I'm a Sagittarius. I speak from experience.
Yes. Yeah, I have some in my life too, and they definitely have that energy. Okay, I don't think you so much, Madelaine, but
good. I'm aware of it, so I try to stay very open-minded to other people's beliefs. My moon is in Sagittarius, which is different. I'm sorry, my moon is in Pisces in the 9th house. Also, if you have planets in the 9th house, if you have your sun in the 9th house, sometimes those people can be very stuck thinkers, like rigid, super. But the moon is a little softer there, but I work on it. Yeah. So, okay.
Capricorn.
Capricornies, you guys have Pisces in your 3rd house. So that's, that's like that's Pisces. You've got Neptune there. You've got the mythos represented there in your 3rd house. Neptune representing the mythos there in your 3rd house. So talk about shifts, major new rigid thinking clashes coming down, new beliefs, whole new spiritual awakenings for you guys. I don't mean to sound like a big exaggeration, but sometimes we don't really realize those moments, those aha moments, how big they are in tilting our destiny. They are. So I would say it's an aha moment for Capricorns, and it puts Gemini in your 6th house. So you do wake up, you're able to quit, you're able to do something to really shift your destiny here by quitting, being healthier, having more positive thinking. Maybe you really wake up to the fact that you have negative thinking that's been causing a lot of your problems, or rigid thinking. You open up to more thoughts that are spiritually aligned, more flow. You believe in living a more flow life. Capricorns can be quite rigid thinking in that, that they just believe in work and money, and I shouldn't simplify them that much, but they work very hard and they like to keep their life stable through work. But now they're going to open up and see in more spiritual flow in the 3rd house. Maybe they take on a new spiritually based business. They're going to have a wake up to believe in a little more risky spiritualism, a little more mythos for the Capricorn, a little less logos. And they're going to be really like opening up their mind about, they're going to wake up to what they do on a day-to-day, on a spiritual level. Capricorn is the energy of doing something every day to day that they represent the goat climbing that mountain every day, one step at a time. They get to the top, they focus, they do it, and it creates a lot of abundance. And they are, however, they forget that they're co-creating with the universe, and they just think they're climbing mountain skills is what's causing all their abundance. But it's still when they join forces with the universe, they become uber abundant. When Capricorn are not just about the structure, they add flair because they have Leo over their fifth. They have Leo over their eighth. Sorry, Capricorn have Leo over their eighth, but they have Taurus over their fifth, which is ruled by Venus. So when they start to work in a way that is creative and self-expression, then you get the ultimate Capricorn cookie. Capricorn mix, because you get because Capricorn, it's basically all work and no play makes Joe a dull boy, basically. So when you add the flair of the fifth house to a Capricorn structure, fantastic. It's like, that is the harmony of the universe. That's what Capricorns are here to learn, to be more playful in their work, to be more joy-centered, to be more creative because they have Taurus over their fifth, and to be more flow like water, because then they hear the intuitive message rather than just working with your nose to the grindstone without connecting with the universal directing powers. Then you're in alignment, and then you're creating, and the more alignment, and this is what happens to Capricorns, when they do that, when they follow their intuitive creative wish, but they're afraid to do because they don't think it makes money. They all think that. So when they step into that imagination, because Neptune is the imagination over their third house, they get more creative, more imagination. They are, what they're doing is they're taking their Capricorn energy and not using it for security, but they're using that Capricorn energy to support something more fabulous and creative and flowy and risky. And they know because the fortune favors the brave here. So when they take that risk, because the Capricorn wakes up to knowing they can always land on their feet. The goat will always land on its feet. When a goat never tumbles down that mountain. So they're always like, they don't realize they can flare, they can do stuff, they can play, because they always land on their feet. You can throw a goat in the air, it'll land on its feet.
Really? I thought that was just cats.
Well, but goats, okay, maybe they tumble, but they get on their feet and they climb hills like this,
Yeah, that's true.
So, and the Capricorn is a very stable person. They will always be able to get on their feet and get back on that track. Boop, bitty boop, bitty boop. So it's like they of all people are the most stable enough to take risks, and they're the least ones that do. But when they wake up and they see that their chart supports them being creative and taking creative risks, that they have very, very powerful, abundant life. So that's Capricorn.
I kind of chuckled with this card for Capricorn, the date palm flower. It activates freedom from extremes, and the message is shift the paradigm. I don't even think I need to say anything else. I mean, between what you shared and this, it's pretty spot on. Yeah, so one thing I want to point out is the balance between linear and nonlinear thinking, because Capricorns are all about like, I have to do this to get there, where it's really like, maybe not, maybe you could do that to get there. So just shake up your mind a little bit and be able to tune into that inner knowing, that spiritually driven sensation or feeling that you might have, like you were talking about with those aha moments, having like being in the imagination.
Because Einstein said the imagination is more important in the intellect. That's exactly this new moon, intellect versus the imagination. And they have Pisces over their third house, which is your thinking, your inner dialogue. So they're supposed to open up to more imaginative, to open to their imagination.
Yes, I've
I hope your
Capricorns in mind.
Yes, I hope he watches, your Capricorn friends.
Yes. I don't know that he'll watch, but I'll just have to tell him. And that'll have to, or I'll get to this point in the video and say, hey, listen, please. Yeah,
No.
so funny. Okay, so
But
Aquarius.
they will probably you know what, you don't have to, this is going to happen, whether they're going to have a shift here. This is Gemini being in that house of, what did I say it is for is it set? How do I forget? Gemini is in the 6th house.
Six.
And they're also going to get busy, but the new moon in their, squaring Neptune in their 3rd house, they are definitely opening up to a rigid belief system, but something you just said and I lost it. So don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's just, I don't even need to sit him down and have him watch this. It's something will happen in his life that will open this up. And I don't have to do anything. If he asks me anything, I will share, but otherwise I probably will let him discover on his own. That's a lesson I'm learning within our relationship, of just let him go at his own pace and focus on my side of the street, and he'll get where he needs to go when he's ready to get there.
Right. And that's another thing to look at in this new moon is, where are we negative thinking, and where we have to let go what other people think and what other people believe, because that's square to Neptune. Like you have a lot, we can have our own friends, our own tribes, but I don't know 2 people on this planet that believe the same thing exactly across the board, like 100.
Right.
So it's like we may come across different beliefs. So we have to don't try to change what people think. There's an evolution here at play that you will see when the things line up, But
and I feel
like times these lunations right now is one of those things where people start to see, it's like clarity will come about things.
Well, and if you're in a relationship where you see eye to eye on everything, that's going to be one boring relationship.
Exactly.
There's not much growth that can happen there. So
you're here to challenge each other on each other's ego.
Yeah. Geez. Okay. Aquarius.
All right. Aquarius. Aquarius is Pisces over your 3rd. Sorry. Pisces over your 2nd, and Gemini then puts it over your 5th. So, wow, interesting. So you're gonna have a new moon, and it could be a writing project, or ideas of a business, or an idea to write a play or write a movie or teach. The 5th house is teaching. So, or new relationship. And then it squares your 2nd house with Neptune being there. So you open up a whole new belief around, because you have Saturn retrograding there. So an old way of making money, or an old idea, or something inside your soul you really want to do, you go back and revisit. But there's, because of this new moon happening on this time, you have an awakening. See, this new moon is happening as Saturn goes retrograde. So you wake up to what you need an illusion around your work, that you need, or wherever you have Pisces, that you wake up to an illusion which you can go back and fix when Saturn goes retrograde. You then have an aha, I know what I need to do now. I see what I need to do. But in the meantime, first we're going to be confused and let go of what we think. So we're getting out of our rigid thoughts about how it should be. And then we've got, let me find Gemini again in your 5th house. So you sort of open up to a creative project. You could meet a new friend that you then start, that changes the way you do income. You go into a writing or some kind of a project. 5th house is also entrepreneurial. You get an idea for an entrepreneurial business. You get creative about you decide to do it because it's Neptuning in your 2nd house. You get this creative aha awakening that this is a creative solution, and it makes you new money. It's a new way of making money, and you can go back now. You know how to fix it with Saturn going retrograde. You get what you need to do now. You're going to go focus on it, make some changes, and then it'll come back. Gemini in the 5th, new moon in the 5th, could get pregnant. You could find out that you're pregnant, and you thought you totally blows your mind. You didn't know you could, maybe, or you now have new belief to be pregnant. Maybe you weren't planning on it, and now you think, no, I do want to do this. You have awakening. It's a spiritual experience or something. Or what else? And you meet a new friend that changes your beliefs around spirituality and making money. Suddenly you meet someone who's doing something you always dreamed of doing, and they're making a lot of money, and you just thought you couldn't do it. You couldn't do that. Now you believe in it. You can make money doing that. Go ahead.
You want me to? Okay, I'll share.
Ready. Yeah.
The white magnolia. This activates spiritual fulfillment, and the message is you are divine. What I love about this for Aquarians is that it dissolves fears around, it dissolves extraneous thoughts. That's what it was. And Aquarians have all kinds of thoughts. This is another air sign. So it's removing all of those extraneous thoughts, meaning the ones that don't really make a difference, the ones that aren't connected to anything that is of value or relevance in your life, and really helping you hone in on what does, and taking action maybe on an inspired idea or thought that leads you to a creative project that inspires you to start something. And this also has to do with something in your life that might be changing in a really big way. So a baby would definitely change your life in a big way. A creative project that you're really focused on, that's really connected to your heart and soul, would change your life in a really big way. So yeah, there's one other thing I wanted to, the other thing is it magnifies the awakening to your highest expression. And I feel like that's what Aquarians are here to do across the board, is to express your soul and that essence of you, which then has a ripple effect in the collective. This just magnifies that for Aquarians, the white magnolia.
Interesting, because they also have Venus and Mars in their 7th. So there's some sort of a relationship activation that could be a creative project, because that 5th house, you're talking about creativity. Maybe they wake up that they need to be more creative and take on a more creative career, that they now have a relationship they can go into business with, do it with their spouse. Joint, we've got the node squaring Pluto right now, so we're stepping into what we really are destined here to do more. We're being tilted that way. So
yeah.
All
right.
Resonates.
All right, we're rounding out the end here with Pisces.
Pisces. So you guys have Saturn going into retrograde in your 1st house. I bet you're slowing down. I bet energy feels really heavy and like, oh. But because as soon as Saturn went into the 1st house for Pisces, all the Pisces I knew, they got really busy with work. Things really, really fired up for them in their careers. And now we're looking at slowing down. The universe wants you to slow down, back up, go back, reevaluate something, check your T's and dot your I's or something, but to basically go back and make sure you have a strong foundation in some sort of area of your life that's going to last 30 years. When Saturn goes into a house, it's restructuring that house so it's stable for 30 years. And so for you guys, you have Gemini in your 4th, a new living situation, Pisces rising. I know my son is kind of in that situation right now. And you have Neptune in your 1st house. So there's some limited potential belief. Now, Pisces are famous for doomsday storytelling to themselves. So they might wake up to a better way of thinking, because Gemini being in their 4th house is home, it's emotional. So it's like, and it's negative thinking when you're alone. Squaring Neptune, you're going to wake up to how your mind is, you're some sort of mind and belief argument about yourself and what you believe, and how the way you think is causing you a reality that you don't like, or is unstabilizing your emotional world. And you're going to wake up to a spiritual, more flow way of seeing things. There's a balance here that Pisces are trying to figure out between the logos and the mythos. And Pisces can go heavy on the mythos and be earth to you, Pisces, earth to Pisces. But with this Gemini and they're going to ground because that's your fourth house. So you stabilize through positive thinking, through controlling your mind, and through mind control, I say your own mind control, not other mind control. And you take your mind back from, other beliefs, but that Neptune in your first house, your soul, you're connecting to what you truly believe, that your soul, it's like your soul is speaking to you very closely here in this square. And so there's a truth coming out, that your soul's truth that changes the way you think, or we've got something going on with the way the Pisces think and what is reality. Like I did a reading for a Pisces. They're like, what's reality? Like the cards aren't reality because they haven't happened yet. And they're like, it didn't happen or something, but it happened eventually. But what the point is that you create your reality by what you think. So if you get a reading that's a reality that's too positive than what you believe in or think, it's not going to happen, because you can't have that reality unless you believe in it. So I've been working with my son because he's this Pisces rising, and he's the one that says, Mom, your reading said this is going to happen by now. And I'm saying, it was an attempt, but you were negative about it. You said a bad story. Oh no, that's not going to work or something. So astrology and tarot trying to help you materialize a higher dimension potential that you're supposed to ground through aligning with it consciously. So Pisces are learning something about materialization and their thinking and their dream world. Not, it's a dream, it can't come true. They got negative thinking, it's just a dream. But now they're waking up to that is how you make it come true, by believing in the dream, by aligning your micro thoughts to it, planning it, strategizing. Gemini's a strategy energy. So you're now strategizing, now you're believing in it, because you can see that it's your thinking that's creating your reality. That's the limited experience, is your thinking. That was a challenging one.
Well, I feel like you did a good job on that one.
Okay.
And the navel orange blossom might offer a little bit more information.
Okay,
and so
we need it.
Another slightly different interpretation that I was getting for this is also around fourth house when it comes to ancestry, family lineage, and working through old karmic patterns.
Yes.
So, and then you also mentioned the, Saturn going into being in Pisces, retrograding soon. It's slowing everyone down, but particularly Pisces. It is really making them rethink and reevaluate structures and systems that they have to create a new foundation going forward. And this flower talks about feeling uninspired. So there might be some Pisces that just aren't feeling super inspired, or they have a sense of something, but their limited thinking and their doomsday beliefs tend to keep them where they are. And that is likely connected to ancestral patterns that they are here to break, that they are here to change and shift. So this magnifies inspiration. This is also connected to the reproductive system. So I know that that's not a direct connection, but if you think about it in terms of rebirthing or birthing something new, creating a new structure, creating accessing that part of you that can create, whether you're a male or a female, there's that place within us where we can create. So maybe this has something to do with, a block in that area that is keeping you stuck, that's connected to an ancestral wound that once you move through that will propel you forward in a whole new way. But the inspiration is the key. It's like, what inspired you?
Yes, because they have Leo over their 6th house. So, and that's like a work house. So Pisces are very creative. They're usually the artists and musicians, always, pretty much. Yeah. So with Leo there, they might, with Saturn going over them, you're right, that kind of feels like a quell of their inspiration, because maybe they are supposed to maybe they're not inspired by what they're doing. So the truth comes out that this isn't inspiring enough, because if you have Leo over your 6, you really need to be doing something that inspires you and excites you on a day-to-day. It's very creative energy. My son is that's why they're so often creatives, because they got Leo over their 6th house. My son has his Mars there, he's a musician. So, you know, Leo being there, it's trying to get you to do the heart thing. So if you're like slow down, you don't feel motivated for something, you don't feel like doing something, go connect to what fires you up, because you're supposed to reconnect to something that fires you up.
The other message of that particular flower is it's great to be alive. So that just like, yes, like this, it's great to be here. I'm so excited to be here. Let's go, you know, and Pisces aren't always like that. You know, they're watery. That's not really their thing. So, but it's there, they have it. Just can you access it right now and be inspired, find that inspiration.
It's probably a tricky new moon for Pisces, because it's squaring Neptune right on their 1st house. So it's like, I bet they're feeling very like not understanding something very big in their life right now, you know. But clarity is going to come. It's going to come in. I was going
to say they will.
Then they have a new beginning as a result of that clarity. They're going to initiate a new thing. So
all right. Well, we covered a lot today. There was a lot to talk about. I wasn't expecting there to be so much information.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even really go into the whole node thing, which is fine. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but this node is a big transit. People's lives are really radically shifting and changing right now. So if that's happening and you're feeling scared, because some people are, I get scared about stuff like that too. But remember, we're letting go of things that are security based, and we're going into a more thrival period now. So trust the changes are going to be more abundant. I really believe that for everybody.
Trust. Yeah, that's a key. So, all right, everybody, our information's below. You know where to find us. Reach out if you would like any sort of astrological, spiritual, soul, relationship support. I mean, anything that comes to your day-to-day life that you'd like a little bit more of a spiritual take on it. Madelaine and I are here for you to support you in any way that we can. These cosmic chats are a big part of our gift to everyone, so that you have a better understanding. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for watching us every couple of weeks when we're here. We really appreciate it. Please leave comments, likes, shares, follows, all the good stuff. We would so appreciate that. And we will see you in 2 weeks for the full moon in Capricorn, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. All right, everyone. We are signing off. We'll see you here soon.
Everybody. Take good care of yourself. Bye. Bye.